Hey guys, welcome to After Dark. Ask Auntie Nella. You know, I did put on the page tonight that we're gonna talk about sex on the first date. But you know what? I'm gonna use that for next week for a relationship question because I don't think that was a topic that would invoke some stuff for After Dark. It possibly can, but you know what? I want to revisit this topic because this was a hot topic, and I think this was a time where my video was acting a little bit crazy, so we had to cut it short and all that stuff. And I want to talk about, does size matter? I mean, you know, that's a conversation that I think is going to be a good topic. So we'll wait for you guys to come on board here a little bit. Say hi when you come on. And again, you'll see me looking down at my phone. And I'm looking down at my phone because I want to be tuned into you guys. I want to see your questions. I want to see your comments. I want to see all that. So when you come on, don't forget to come on and say hi to little old me so I can say hi back to big old yo. So say hi when you jump on board, and we going to get in this thing. And we going to have a conversation here. But we'll wait for a few more people to come on. Go out there and yell on your page. Ask Auntie Nella's on live for After Dark. And After Dark, you can ask any question you like. I mean, any question you like that you want to ask, you are welcome to ask it. And so with that being said, I'm going to wait for a few more people here to come on. While we're doing that, make sure you go to YouTube. And when you go to YouTube, you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Because like I said, as of March 1st, we will be transitioning over to YouTube. So I want you guys to get all this good gossip that we talk about, or all this good advice that I give you, and transition it over to YouTube. All right, so we'll go ahead and get that done. And let me see. See who else is out there. Hey, Sissy. Hey, Mia. Thank you, guys. I know you guys see me shuffling a little bit. My back is out of whack a little bit here, so I'm shuffling, trying to get this heating pad in place. Hey, Kenneth. Welcome back, you guys. So let's do this. Let's get this topic started because the last topic was a really good topic, and I appreciate you guys coming in and tuning in. Does size matter? I'm going to say this. I'm going to give you this. This is my view. I don't want you to think it's your view. Size depends on you as an individual. And what I mean by that is what you like. Somebody might like a itty bitty. Somebody might like a big bitty. I'm going to say that's a decision or a conversation or a feeling that you have to have. Somebody might like in between. It's up to you. It's your preference of what you like. Now, I'm going to give you a little my views. Don't bring no itty bitty my way. Because I'm going to cold check you and I'm going to tell you. That's just who I am. I'm not going to be rude about it. I'm not going to be nasty about it. I'm not going to degrade you because you got an itty bitty. I'm just not going to waste your time and my time because I know what I like. That's just who I am. And that was me when I was in a dating scene. That was important to me. That may not be important to you. But you have to have some thought process in your mind of what you're looking for. I don't care. You could be single. You could be not married. You still have a thought process of what you're looking for. Because sex is important to any relationship. Sex is important to any marriage. And so you have to make the decision, what makes you feel good? What makes you feel like, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. There's all sizes. There's small, there's medium, there's large, there's extra large, and there's extra small. And so I'm going to say that's the decision that you got to make. If we go from extra small to extra large, if you decide you want an extra small, I ain't hating on you because that's what you happy about. If you want an extra large, I still ain't hating on you what you like. I'm still not going to hate. That's your preference. But know what you like and you dislike. There's some men that go south. There's some men that leaves, that goes west. You just never know. There's north, there's south, there's east. You just know what you want. Know what you want. Know what you're looking for when you're going into that relationship, or if it's something that you don't like. Now, you could get to a point where they weren't where they were when you first started, and then after, a couple of tries, they got a little bit better. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with creating a trial period for it. Create a trial period. I'm gonna give, he itty bitty, but I'm gonna give my opportunity to see what he working with. So it's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with you feeling that way. There's nothing at all wrong with your feeling that way. You just want to know that, for me, that's key and important to me, size matter. And when I mean size matter, I don't mean he got to be like extra large. But I mean he got to present something healthy and well endowed to the table. He got to produce something that, I could see. He got to produce something that can stretch a little bit. He got to produce, something where I could put a ruler on it and measure it a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. He got to at least present something that I think that I'm going to truly enjoy. Now, you never know how it's going to turn out until a deal starts. And you start to do some of those things. You don't know how it's going to turn out. So I always tell people this, and I say this a lot, and I know I joke a lot, but I will say this. I'll never, ever size a situation on the first time you have sex. Baby, sometimes the first time you have sex is a hot ghetto mess. Because he ain't doing the right thing. You going left, he going right. You moving forward, he moving back. It's usually a hot mess. Because the first time they don't know. Like, they don't know what you like. They just trying stuff. You don't know what you like that they giving. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to allow yourself more than one opportunity before you make a flat out decision and be like, nope, I can't do it. I can't do it. No. Give yourself an opportunity and give yourself some time for you to at least make a good decision. Make sure you're doing it that way, because at the end of the day, by doing it that way, you've given yourself an opportunity to possibly, because you could possibly create that man or mold that man or woman into the direction you want. So never give up. Don't give up on the first. Don't do it. Don't give up on the first time. Nah, it's a hot ghetto mess. All right, so let me go here. I see I have a few comments. It says, the Bible says we have not because we ask not, and we ask in the midst of the wrong reason. Yes, if I like something, I'm gonna say I like. I'm never afraid to say I like something. And I say this a lot to you guys in my After Dark is I'm straightforward. There's my viewers out there. There may be some viewers who not straightforward. Nothing's wrong with you being that way. Not one thing is wrong with you being, not being, nothing's wrong with you if you're not where I'm at. There's going to be a time in your life you're going to get there and you're going to look like, wow, I can't believe I was so shocked. I'm direct and on point. If I want something, I want it. I'm going to say if I want it, if you're doing me right and you're doing it right, I'm going to say, yeah, you hit the spot. That's just me allowing my partner, my husband, to know, look, you hit the right spot. Can you repeat that next time? I want him to know, create a checklist to know, here are the things that are great, that you're doing great. There's nothing wrong with that. I think as a woman, and as I grow as a woman, it's important for me to allow myself to be honest and open to my husband and say, hey, here's what I like and here's what I don't like. I don't want to create a situation. I don't want to create something that causes him to continue to do something that I don't like. Then the sex session doesn't happen the way we want it to happen, because he's not getting what he wants out of it, and nor am I getting what I want out of it. That's why it's always key to make sure you know what you're looking for, to make sure you know what you want. It's nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong with you knowing exactly what you want. Nothing's wrong with that. I say what's wrong is when you hold something in your heart and you know it's not right, or you know it's not something you're looking for, you continue to play the game. Be honest to them. There's a lot of men out there that want you to be honest. They want you to tell them if they've done something wrong. They want you to tell them when they've done something right. That creates a stronger man. That creates that stronger man that molds that man to give you sex the way you want it. And nothing's wrong with that. Nobody wants to continue to give somebody sex and they don't give them feedback. Just imagine, I want you to imagine this picture. You and your spouse doing your thing, and you just laying there like a log on a frog. And he just doing his thing, working so hard. I mean, he working hard. He working really hard to try and please you. But the outcome is, he's not really pleasing you, or he don't know he's pleasing you because you haven't given him anything to go off. So it's important to make sure you're making some sounds. It's important to give him some responses when he in the right spot. It's important. No different than a female. No different. you want to hear the same response, because if you're if you're deciding, you know what, I'm gonna get on top, I'm gonna get on top tonight. You want to make sure they're giving you, giving them a response. You want the same thing in you want the same thing in return. You don't want them to give you no response, because then what that does is that starts to mess with me as an individual. Like, man, I don't know if he liking it. I don't know if he, I don't know what's wrong. He not saying nothing. It's okay to be honest and say, you know what? That little position we did the other day didn't work well. It didn't work well at all. Hey, JoJo. So it's important to make sure that's what you're doing. You wanted to make sure you getting 110% out your sex session. And you want to make sure if you got to tell him some things out your sex session, you know exactly what you're getting. You know exactly what you're getting. All right. And so we have Sister Michelle. Hey, Sister Michelle. Said, laugh out loud, Nella. I ain't messing with you. I haven't been on here for a while. Teach them how you like it. Correct, Mia. Kenneth, the Bible says, write your vision and make it plain. I can ask my daddy for the type of woman that I want, and if it's in his will accordingly, his word in the desires of my heart, I'm walking upright before him, and he will give me exactly the woman I need and the woman that I want. Exactly. You just got to allow yourself to make sure you are, connecting with God, because it is important. That part of it is important. Kenneth said, it's a man. It's a man. He should know how to please his partner, his wife, and he should know how to please. She should know how to please her partner, husband, vice versa. Should be all done with the way God has meant it to be enjoyable. And I agree with that. But I'm gonna say this: it's also you hear a lot of people say, "Closed mouths don't get fed," and I'm gonna relay that message to this situation. If you're in a, in your sex session with your spouse, or your, partner, and they're not giving you what you're looking for, it's okay to be honest and say it. Because you know what? There is going to be times where he truly just didn't know, or she truly just didn't know that you didn't tickle her fancy, or, you didn't give it to her right. She's not going to know that. So it's important to just be open and have that communication and free to say, hey, you know what? I know we're new to this. We're new to, having sex, but you know what? Last night's session was a little bit this. You hurt me. You didn't hurt me. You didn't give it to me right. You need to move to the left. You need to move to the right. Be honest. Just be honest and have that conversation. Don't ever be embarrassed about it, because, again, that's your spouse. That's your spouse or soon-to-be spouse. Have that conversation with them and truly let them know. Hey, honey, so my husband said what you got the first time is what it is. It ain't growing no more. So it's important to make sure you know exactly what you got, because what my husband is saying is, when you got that stick shift the first time, you know what size it was. So don't come 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months and say, you know what, I can't do this no more. You know what, you just ain't pleasing me in that piece of it. That's not fair to that person, because what you did is you drugged them along knowing the same stick shift you had that were like 2 inches is the same stick shift you got today. So you have to just be honest, because no one wants to waste their time in a relationship that you have this thought in the back of your mind about, I'm going to keep giving him a try. He just there. He, doing me right for the moment. That's not fair, guys. That's not fair, because what you're doing is you're putting yourself in a space to make you happy for the moment, but the other person is on the losing end. I just always tell people to reverse that and put yourself in that space and say, how do I feel if it was me? I would be feeling different. All right. Let me see. As a man, I no longer just want sex partner. I want my wife to do my love making, and I want to be her love maker. Which is exactly, and that's a conversation that you still will want to have. You just don't want, there's people just out there just out for sex. It's not healthy. Especially for, I'm going to say for a woman, and I'm not knocking you guys. I don't want you guys to think that. But I'm saying for a woman, because we love emotionally, and sex is an emotional desire. And so when you have sex with a man, what happens is it continues to build an emotion. And before you know it, you're in love with him, but you're in love with the fact that, you're having sex. Your emotions is caught. There's men out there, there's men who can have sex and be content. They can have sex with you today and then don't even speak to you tomorrow. We can't do that. We play that hard role. There's women out there, girl, I'm not worried about him. All I want from him is sex. But deep down inside, you're looking for more than that. Because we love hard and we love quick. And so it's important to make sure you never put yourself in that space where you're not happy. That's not important. That's not one thing you ever want to do. Because then what you do is you play yourself. Plain and simple. You play yourself for a situation that you're just looking at it from a standpoint of a bang bang session. And a bang bang session is that man is not tied to you and you're not tied to that man. But what happens is we as women tie ourselves to the men, but the man has no ties to us. The only tie they have is having sex. And who wants to have that as the only thing connecting me to you? So you just want to make sure you know exactly what you're doing. So Mia said, it's scary when you're celibate and you're going into blind to a marriage. You truly got to hold God answer all of your prayers. Specifically, I would agree with you. That's a piece that is truly scary, because I know one thing about me is it's truly important to make sure when it comes to the bedroom, there's some key things you need to be point on. And if you're not point on, you need to be willing to change it. In this position, Mia, I'm going to say you have to trust God and allow God to make sure he sends you the right person your way. I'll give you my situation. I went through a struggle with my first relationship before I met my husband. And as soon as I met him, my response was, look, I've been through a lot in my young life. I'm hoping you're not the same. And so what I did was I prayed on it and I trust God, and God sent me my husband. I'll never forget, I walking down the street and saw him sitting on the porch. I never met him one day. And in my mind, it popped up and said, that's going to be your husband. And today, 24 years marriage, 29 years later, we're still kicking. The key is making sure you allow yourself going into a marriage, especially if you're going into a marriage celibate. You allow yourself give and take. You allow yourself honesty. You allow yourself communication. You allow yourself to make sure you guys are on one page and sharing what you dislike and like, because you guys are new. It's new to the both of you guys. And so that's why it's important to make sure you know exactly what you're looking for, and you have that conversation and be okay with that conversation. Don't shy away from it, because both you guys are newlyweds. You're new into it. And so being new into it, leave yourself open for give and take. That's what I had to learn being with my husband for 29 years and married for 24 years. I have to learn that there's going to be give and take. There's going to be some wins on my end. There's going to be some losses on my end. Vice versa. It happens both ways. You can never be in a marriage or relationship where you're winning all the time. You can and what I mean by winning is you win every situation in your marriage. Nope. There's going to be some wins and there's going to be some losses. You have to be willing to take those wins and losses and keep it moving. Don't dwell on it. Don't, be like, well, I told you, so I knew I was going to be right. Or when you caught and you're wrong and you're like, nah, I'm not wrong. Own it. Own it. You cannot be in a relationship and you cannot be in a marriage if you're not willing to give and take. Still to this day, 20 years strong, moving forward, there's still give and take. It's going to always be that way. All right, so let's see what else we got out here. Kenneth, the way he wants to please you. He wants to know how he's pleasing you. She will be able to please him and he will be able to please her. Absolutely. But again, there's nothing wrong with being honest and sharing with them exactly what you're looking for and what you're not looking for. The other one is from my husband. He said, this is a double standards because women want guys to measure up, but guys don't want to prolap women with you. You can drive a truck in. I would agree. So what he's saying is women want one thing. Women, we tend to put that piece of it on a relationship as the main goal. Like I'm sizing this man up. But then when the man decides to get in there, he'll never be able to size, the size will never matter because she might be stressed out or she might, he might fall right in, So we have to make sure we're giving and take on both ends. And don't ever be disappointed when somebody tell you like, you know what, I just don't think, this relationship is going to go anywhere because, you're not where I expect you to be sex-wise. You know what? Respect their feelings, because that person may not just be for you. And so respect the fact that they were respectful enough to be honest and tell you, you know what, I can't move forward. I would never want to be in a space or a relationship where I'm 10, 15 years into it, 5 years or 1 year into it, and you come back to me and that's the answer, the reason why we're splitting up or the reason why we're going a different direction. So you just have to make sure we size up men can size up us as well. So we don't ever want that to, people to think that's the case, that it's all about the man, and that's not what I'm putting out there. I'm just going to say, does size matter? And size matters on both ends. Just like we can size up a man can size us up as well. But I'm going to wrap up here a little bit. But before I wrap up, I just want to say this. I want to say that, at the end of the day, we play around. I play around a little bit with, the After Dark. And I hear a lot of people, somebody just told me just the other day, you talk about, sex and, all this stuff, but, sex is always, sex is not key in, a marriage. There's intimacy. I get it. I get it to a certain extent. But who wants to live longevity in a marriage and all they're getting is intimacy? Who wants that? Sex is important. Don't play yourself as boo-boo the fool and let somebody tell you sex ain't important. Sex is important as communicating. Sex is important as value yourself. Sex is important as working on a relationship as one team. Sex is important. Don't ever let somebody tell you sex is not important. It is important. It's okay to have intimacy along with sex, but you can't live in a marriage or a relationship and it's all about intimacy. That doesn't add up. You're gonna want more at some point. So don't put yourself out there thinking different. Don't ever put yourself out there thinking different at all. So I'm gonna read these last few comments here from Kenneth, and then we're gonna exit. And like I said, I want you guys to send your topics my way. I want you guys, especially these After Dark topics, guys, because these topics are starting to get a little hard for me to come up with some topics. So I want you guys, if you can do me one favor, help me out and inbox me some topics that we want to discuss, that you want to discuss in this After Dark. You could do it for communication as well. If you want to remain anonymous, I'm fine with that. One other thing I'm going to task you guys with. I would love if next week I can get 2 Ask Auntie Nella's letters. One for a relationship one and one for an After Dark one. I think that will be dope if we can, get that Ask Auntie Nella letter started back up. So inbox me, you guys. I will have I want you guys to get it to me no later than Friday. And then by Saturday, I would reveal what the topic will be. I will not announce who sent me the Ask Auntie Nella letter. I will make sure it remains anonymous. With that being said, I want you guys to send me some love, send me some hearts across the screen before we go tonight. And I want you to make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, because just like I said on the relationship one, come March 1st, I will be transitioning fully onto YouTube. And I want you guys to follow me because I value you guys. I appreciate you guys' time and taking the time out your night to come and chat with me and hear me gabble. So I definitely will do that. We have one other quick one. From Sister Michelle, sex is important. God created it. If this messing in your marriage, you will likely have a problem in your marriage. And absolutely right. If that sex piece of it is missing. And then Kenneth said, would last be able to know man, and how should you nurture each other, not wear each other out, and be respectful to what your needs are, vice versa. That's, again, Kenneth, that's a communication conversation that you need to have with your partner to see. If you're doing a little bit too much, if you're not doing enough, that's a conversation that's important to you that you need to make sure you have. The other one is, we must know how to nurture each other and not wear each other out. Okay, that's your repeat, so you're fixing it from your first one. So you definitely want to make sure there's boundaries. Because you don't ever want it to get to the point where you're like a rabbit. you're constantly and she's not enjoying it, because then what you lose is you lose the flavor of her wanting to have sex or him wanting to have sex. So there has to be, a balance. There has to be a balance on both ends. So with that being said, again, I truly, truly, truly appreciate you guys. Have a fabulous rest of your week. Have a good night.